Please insert your saved character disc from any of the first 3 Quest for Glory games into the disk drive, so that your hero can make the journey to Quest for Glory, Shadows of Darkness. Your character has been successfully imported. Welcome to Shadows of Darkness. You awaken from nightmares of flying and falling. You find yourself in this strange place, the only illumination, an eerie green glow. You've lost your weapons and the contents of your backpack somewhere during the journey. All you have are the clothes and armor on your back. This leaves you with 4 burning questions. Where are you? How did you get here? Who brought you here? And how in blazes can you get out of here? No, make that 5 burning questions. What city did your luggage end up in this time? You are in a large cave, dimly lit by glowing lichen on the walls. Strange, irregular outcroppings of stone grow from the ground, looking like the skeleton of some enormous beast. Here and there, petrified human bodies seem to grow half in, half out of the floor and walls. The desiccated corpse is half buried in the rock of the cave floor. You search the desiccated body. The only still usable item is a dagger, which you pick up. However, lying around the bones are some coins. 5 golden coins, each have a crown stamped onto them, and 13 small copper coins, each stamped 1 kopeck. A brief search reveals a piece of hard grey rock, which you take, and some coins, 3 crowns and 13 kopecks. Find 30 assorted copper and gold coins on the body. The torch is firmly embedded in its holder. You strike sparks off the flint using your dagger. Torch soon begins to burn, almost as if by magic. You take the torch. You light your torch from the one in the sconce. This is some kind of altar to the Dark One. The top is covered with sand. Torch holders flank the altar to provide light for nameless rites and unspeakable rituals. It seems to be a kind of stone valve acting as a door to the passageway beyond. You force the sphincter open with your dagger and pass through. You've made it into a large chamber. Stone valves, like the one you just passed through, apparently block 3 other passageways. There is a huge stone altar in the center of the room, and an exit to the south. The corpse has long since decayed into a dry husk, but his shield seems to be in pretty good condition. Lying next to the dead warrior are a battered sword and a coin pouch. You gratefully retrieve the shield and battered sword from the dead warrior. You hope that they will serve you better than they did their last owner. A stalagmite forms the base of the stone altar. The rough stone altar is covered with dark stains as of blood long since dried to powder. You feel a creepy, uneasy sensation whenever you pass near it. The altar feels strangely warm to your touch, but leaves a deeper chill somewhere within you. As you approach the exit, you are confronted by two flying creatures. They have bat wings and spider-like bodies. In a bitter battle, you were better than the badders. You kick some butt, too. Something deadly lies in wait nearby. A deep pit fills most of this hallway. A rope bridge spans the narrowest stretch of the chasm. A heavy rope bridge spans the deep chasm. You can see the entrance to a large cave at the bottom of the pit. You catch an occasional glimpse of a horrid, multi-tentacled monster just inside the cave. You cautiously test the rope before crossing. It feels as though it's firmly anchored on both ends of the chasm. It would be nice work if you could get it, but you don't know a flying spell. The best you can do is to levitate, but that just takes you up and down, unless you can find a way to let the wind help you. You just barely made it across the pit. A rope might be useful, but it's firmly attached on both ends. You think about cutting it loose, but then decide that you may have to come back this way again. You slip through the mouth of the cave, just in time to avoid being crushed by its closing jaws. As the cave mouth closes behind you, you feel a strange warning tingle. There is danger here, although its source is not immediately clear.
You are alive! Only one person has ever walked away from there before. Who are you? How did you get here? Oh, there are so many questions I want to ask you, but I have to get home quickly. It is so dangerous out at night in Mordavia. The town is due north of here. Be careful, there are many bad things wandering around. Good luck! Oh, by the way, my name is Katrina. I hope we meet again sometime. Farewell.
Rocks have formed an island within the goo. The icky, greasy, grimy goo flows close beneath your path at this point. The icky, greasy substance oozes through your fingers. You quickly scrub your hands with dirt and sand. Even the dirt seems clean compared to this stuff. The cave mouth looks like the jaws of some horrid creature, waiting to chew up and swallow anyone who should be so foolish as to try to enter the cave. The archway above the path is inscribed with 8 arcane symbols. You recognize 7 of them, from Arcania 101 no doubt, as the symbols of blood, bone, breath, essence, heart, the mouth, and the senses. The 8th is new to you. It looks a bit like a 6-tentacled starfish, or perhaps more like a squished squid. Something about the symbol fascinates and scares you at the same time. This symbol looks like a mouth with pursed lips. The archway above the path is inscribed with 8 arcane symbols. The 8th is new to you. It looks a bit like a 6-tentacled starfish, or... This symbol is a stylized representation of a crossed pair of bones. This is the symbol of blood in the form of a huge carved droplet. The cloud symbol is a traditional representation of breath, and of course, a dark cloud symbol is a representation of bad breath. This strange symbol is the traditional magic representation of the senses. This looks like a throbbing heart. This symbol is really abstract. You may have seen it once before, described in an ancient book as the sign of essence, or one's inner nature. This symbol looks like a 6-armed starfish, or perhaps like the tentacles of an octopus. You sense a feeling of strange, chaotic power from it. The 6-pointed symbol seems to pulse with energy and comes loose in your hand when you touch it. You have the feeling that you may need this sign, so you carefully store it in your pack. A pool of sticky, greasy-looking slime dominates this area below the cave. A stream of slimy goo oozes down the right side, and goo dripping on the path makes it slimy and treacherous as well. This tall standing stone has been carved so that the top looks like a squid is perched upon it. It doesn't look particularly stable. The path is dripping with slimy goo. You're having a hard time maintaining your footing on it. Your danger sense tingles. You sense deadly danger from the swamp. It might have something to do with the grasping, disembodied arms. The heavy odor of decay overwhelms your senses and makes you feel slightly nauseated as you survey this gloomy swamp. The decayed remains of a human arm claw at you as if to drag you down to share its doom. You are on an old road. The way to the west is badly overgrown, while the route north and south has seen considerably more traffic. You can see cultivated fields and the walls of a town to the north. The cute, innocent, well, maybe not exactly, little bunny has been viciously slaughtered and now looks like a roadkill. There is absolutely nothing in the little rabbit's fanny pack. Well, maybe a pocket watch, but you don't need one of those. The walls of the town rise majestically above you. A familiar sense of peace and harmony fills you as you look around here. The smell of sweet flowers reminds you of Irana's piece in Spielberg. Your eyes are drawn to the staff in the middle of this lovely area. It is obviously a wizard's magical staff.
You! How did you get here? Why are you here? Few strangers come to Mordavia. I am the Burgomeister. It is my job to know everyone and everything that goes on here.
The Burgomeister stares at you suspiciously. You tell the Burgomeister about how you came here.
Do you expect me to believe such a story? That you could walk out of that cave alive? That the cave would be open? Tell me no more lies. My name is Dmitri Ivanov. I am the Burgomeister of this town. Mordavia is a valley surrounded by mountains. There used to be a road which led from here, but heavy rains have created a swamp at the base of the mountain south of here. No wagons can get you in or out, nor can any person, except perhaps you. This is the town of Mordavia. There is an inn and a shop down the street where you can spend the night or get some supplies and be on your way. The sooner you leave, the better for all. There are many dangers in Mordavia, and we certainly do not need a stranger to stir up new troubles. The Hotel Mordavia has rooms and food. It is a safe place to spend the night. The shop does not carry much. We have been cut off from supplies for a while now. Still, you may at least restock your food rations before you continue with your travels. There are many strange and dangerous creatures that live in Mordavia. Trust nothing. The gates of this town are closed at sunset. Do not let yourself get caught outside after dark, for few can survive a Mordavian night or remain sane enough to speak of it. Just leave Mordavia quickly. No good comes from outsiders, and we do not want you here. Leave here quickly. Go, and soon.
From the sign reading Burgomeister's office, you cleverly deduce that the Burgomeister works here. It's been years since you studied Mordavian, but you think that Burgomeister might be the word for mayor, or perhaps sheriff. The sign reads General Store. You wonder how much of a commission the salespeople get. The sign simply reads, "In." Guess that means you should go in. As you enter the northern part of the town, you hear the sound of a chisel chipping away at a stone block. A man is carving gravestones at one end of the street. Your attention quickly moves from the stone carver to the ominous Gothic building in the center of the street. There is definitely something not right about this structure. A sense of great danger and hunger comes from near the door of the massive stone building. This is a bas-relief of a strange creature. It looks like an octopus with only 6 tentacles. You have a creepy feeling as if it is looking right back at you. This weather-beaten boarded-up door once sported a painted sign, but you can no longer read it. There is a small, grimy window set high in the wall. From the hump on his back to his twisted body, this is either the Hunchback of Notre Dame, a mad scientist's lab assistant, a gravedigger, or an Elvis impersonator. It's an advertisement for Igor's headstone business. The headstone carver stares at you and then goes back to work. You introduce yourself to the gravedigger.
Me, Igor. Building was Adventurers Guild. No adventurers, no guild. Town Mordavia, this north part of town. Oh, this day job. Also work graveyard shift. Little graveyard humor there. Igor dig graves in cemetery. Igor put dead person in grave. Igor cover dead person with dirt. Igor put headstone on grave. Oh, plenty job security around here. Business is piling up. Little graveyard humor there. Again. Oh, Igor not hear rumors. Igor not no stranger in town. Igor not no doctor make strange things in lab. Igor not no funny man in inn not funny. Igor not know many things. Igor not hear many things. Bad building. No go there. Bad, bad, bad.
It's completely silent beyond the door. The door is locked.
So, you are still around, are you? When are you leaving Mordavia?
The Burgermeister stares at you suspiciously.
It is my duty to protect this town. If anything unusual happens around here, I will know whom to blame. That staff was brought here many years ago. It was placed in the town center as memorial to the magic user Irana. That building was abandoned many years ago. It is dangerous, and by rights it should have been torn down. Stay away from it. What am I, a gossiping old woman, for you to ask such a thing? The biggest news here is you. The Adventurers Guild is in the north part of town, but it's closed and boarded up. There have been no adventurers here since the road was flooded. By the laws of the land, I must give you the key for the asking. Perhaps it will be of some use to you. Don't start any trouble around here.
You unlock the door using the key the Burgomeister gave you. This place appears to have been an adventurers' guild hall at one time. Evidently there are no more adventurers left in Mordavia. The hall is badly in need of maintenance. It's a rare example of the deadly Mordavian moose, distinguishable by its long, fang-like canines. Someone has strung garlic around its neck, probably in hopes that it will stay on the wall. There are a number of books on the shelf, including Hero Magazine's Golden Guild Guide to Mordavia, Flora, Fauna, and Folklore. Which book do you want to read? As you scan through Hero, the Journal of General Job Adjusting, you find quite a bit of information that might be useful here. There are a series of articles about the land of Moldavia. The town originally grew up around Castle Borgov. The Borgovs were the boyars, or local noblemen, assigned the role of guarding the area from invaders. The chapter on fauna describes a number of interesting creatures. The Necrotor is a vicious carnivore with big, sharp teeth. Some of the other monsters sound even more horrific. In the forest lives the Lishi, a creature known for playing practical jokes on travelers and playing riddle games, but which can also be helpful to those it likes. You learn about the Rosalka, the spirit of a murdered unmarried woman. Such spirits are said to inhabit lakes and rivers. They try to avenge themselves by drowning any man foolish enough to approach them. You could really learn a lot by reading this magazine thoroughly instead of just browsing through it. Isn't it nice that we included a complete copy in your game box? The book turns out to be an advertising brochure. It says, "I, Dr. Cranium, predict that someday one of my descendants will become the subject of a major computer game. The Castle of Dr. Brain from Sierra Online." Jeez, how cheesy can you get? The book is all about using spells in unusual and creative ways, such as calming a fire, using alternate flame and frost spells to make something brittle and break, and so on. You pick up a number of useful tips which will improve your spellcasting. This book teaches the ancient Oriental art of Talk Fu, how to overcome opponents by attacking them with the unpronounceable names of martial arts forms and confusing them with fortune cookie wisdom. You get lost somewhere between karate and kuksul. This book teaches you how to use the stair stepper to build strong leg muscles and talks about the importance of whole body development. It says to build up your strength gradually by adding weights to the baskets. You study the exercise manual again. It all looks pretty simple. Add weights to the baskets and walk back and forth on the steps until you get worn out. You read through the book on spell casting techniques again. It hasn't changed. Hey, this isn't a lending library. Nice try, but the bookshelf won't budge. If there's a secret passage around here, it's hidden a different way. A portrait of an adventurer long gone hangs on the wall here. A small plaque at the base reads, Piotr, Paladin. The painting shows a proud-looking adventurer standing on an obviously defeated dragon. It might have had more impact if the dragon wasn't just as obviously winking. The plaque says, "Wish you were here in Silmeria, Dunstan." This desk holds the adventurer's logbook, a quill pen, and an inkwell. That would be a lot easier if the desk had a drawer. You read in the adventurer's log about some of the exploits of past adventurers in Mordavia. Prominent among them is the story of Piotr and the Dark One's cult. Near the end of the book, Piotr tells how he led the armies against the Chernovi cult outside the Dark One's cave. The fighters were trained soldiers, but the cult members fought like madmen. Suddenly the cult members changed their forms and became grotesque monsters. Many of the soldiers panicked and ran. The battle was nearly lost. Then Piotr heard the voice of Irana. "By all my will, I banish you to..." The voice was cut off. The cult members screamed and ran. Piotr entered the cave and searched for some sign of life. All he could find were the grotesque remains of cult members. The only sign of Irana was her magical staff lying on the ground. Piotr picked it up and left the cave, knowing that Irana was beyond his help. Piotr then tells how he brought the staff back to town and placed it in the town square. A garden of flowers instantly sprang up around it. Near the end of the book, Piotr tells that he was going to seek out the rituals of the Dark One and destroy them. There are no later entries. You sign your name into the adventurer's logbook with a flourish. It's almost become a habit by now. The finely crafted sword rests within this case, but there doesn't seem to be a door or any way to open the case. A plaque reads, "Break glass in emergency." The case looks totally solid, as if it was constructed around the sword. A plaque reads, "Break glass in emergency only." You break open the front of the case. Avoiding the broken glass, you pull out the sword. It looks like a fine quality weapon. Your legs are too stiff and sore to use this right now. This is a long, sturdy-looking rope with a grapnel hook attached to one end. You pick up the rope and grapnel set and tie it onto your pack. Well, that was fun. Now you feel like climbing something even higher, like Mount Tana. You don't have any rations. You better get some food soon.